Howdy all, Wilcox Lives. I think it's time we play a little Some Days to Die. Alright. Let's see what we got going here. It's been a few days. I have been busy. Uh, I didn't expect the old, holiday there to mess me up as bad as it did. But it certainly messed up my playtime. Um, I got no iron in my forge for some reason. Uh, but yeah, I'm hoping to get things back on track. And I should probably turn that into glue. And although today is not the correct game for today, that's for sure. But you know, I don't think I have time for the other games today, so um, it's just it's that kind of busy the last few days, let me tell you. So we every year pretty much we do a uh, yeah, my brain will kick in here in a second. We do a that does not go in there. New Year's thing with some friends, and we get together play board games usually, and so once again this year, that's what we were doing, and so I worked New Year's Eve, and so by the time I was done with work at New Year's Eve, and then we've got the party, and then by the time the party's over, right, it's like 1 or 2 in the morning, and I just didn't feel like spending the next 3 hours recording because I've been sick, and so I'm still sick. It's not never gonna go away. I'm pretty sure at this point. And okay, I think I need 2 more of these. And so we okay, I think that means these are ready to harvest here. Whoops. Oh, look at that! I harvested my first pumpkins. I don't know what to do with them, but I harvested my first pumpkins. Uh, Yucca fruit. Where did they go? Right here. Yeah, you make yucca juice with those, which is better than water. And so then Wednesday's always my busy day. So Wednesday though, I was like, okay, so I skipped Tuesday, whatever, it's okay. Sometimes you miss a day. And so Wednesday, I'm like, all right, let's get back on track here. And so oop, I don't know what I got that for. I don't use those. And so on Wednesday, I recorded my normal modded Minecraft game, and I'm gonna move all these. Well, not the gun parts, but all these mods are gonna go someplace else. Shotgun. I don't have a spot for shotguns yet. Um, oh man, I've got a lot of 7.62 ammo. I wasn't aware I had so much 7.62 ammo. I don't need so many hunting rifles. I don't need any hunting rifles for that matter. I don't use them. Just gonna scrap them. I don't use sledgehammers. I don't use junk turrets. I have a hunting knife on me, but it doesn't hurt to have a backup. I don't need 2 pistols. I don't need... Still need a junk turret. Shotgun ammo. Shotgun parts. Junk turret. You can go with me, you can go with me. Bow crossbow parts down here. Baseball bat parts, I guess down here we'll put them. Sledgehammer parts, stun baton parts. I guess armor parts can go with me. Gunpowder will go down here. Feathers can go down here. Handgun parts should go with the handgun. Machete parts, guess will go up here. Okay, get that a little better organized there. So, actually, let's move these up here as well. Parts I don't want. And so, oop. Yep, I was scrapping stuff. So now I've got handgun parts, junk turret parts. I feel like the armor parts should go up here too. Rocket launcher parts. And so I got that recorded, and then, oop, dang it, guys, stop sneaking in there. And then I totally spaced on uploading video. And so Thursday when I get up, I hadn't uploaded video. I'm like, oh, alright, I guess I'm just gonna miss Wednesday and Thursday. And then I upload my Thursday video on Thursday for Friday, and so then I put that up on Friday, and then I didn't know, but I had to go into town. I mean, I knew I had to go into town. I actually was supposed to go on Wednesday, but I totally forgot, and so I didn't go into town on Wednesday like I was supposed to. And I was supposed to meet with my brother. We had to sign some papers over, and so he was supposed to. He had to be there for that, and so we had a real issue getting things situated and arranged, I guess, so that we would all be at the same place at the same time. And so I finally got that going, and so got all that paperwork taken care of. That's the last thing to do. I was the executor of an estate, which I'd never done before, and so it's been almost a year of dealing with papers that I have to go and sign and all crazy stuff like that. Just constantly, I think I had a scope mod I'm going to put on this gun, which I like. Did I see a scope mod in here? Also, I should put these storage packet mods. What do these do? Oh, that's a good one. There it is. Scope mod. It's only a ×2, but that makes you quieter. I don't care so much about that. Cold resist. There's a mobility thing. Let's see if we can't put that on. Ooh, we could definitely use that. Armor plating is always good. So let's get some of this. Oh man, my armor is broken. Can you put cowboy hat mod on a cowboy hat? No. All I can do is dye it. Never mind. Cowboy hat mod must be for like a iron helmet or something, right? I need duct tape. Yep. 1, 2. We'll just go ahead and repair all that, I guess. As soon as you learn how to spell repair. Let's just make 10 of these. Got the stuff for it, right? So, yeah, so then after I got done with all of that, we it took a while. It took a while to get all that done. And so after we got all that done, then I ended up back home working. Oh, right, I had a mod on that one. And I got done with work about, I don't know, 7 or 8 o'clock that night, and then we eat dinner. And then after dinner, I find out that my niece is coming over, and so my niece was there, and so I ended up hanging out with her the rest of the evening. And so I didn't have any time to record last night, and so nice. Now the only thing I'm missing is a silencer, and I mean I need a bigger gun for that, but I guess silencer on here, and then I like the there's a anti-radiation zombie mod that stops them from regenerating their health so quickly. That's pretty awesome. But yeah, so we're starting to get there. And then yeah, so it's a pretty crazy week. So I only got one video up since Tuesday. Today is Saturday. So last week I got up a Monday video and a Tuesday video and a Friday video. So I got 3 out of 4 days. I have never done that. That is, like, I might miss a day here and there, but not that many days in a row. It's terrible. Yeah, we watched a couple of horror movies last night on Netflix. I liked them. The first one was okay. It wasn't anything super amazing or anything. It was called Sweetheart, and so it was about this woman was on a boat. You find out, and the boat got destroyed during a storm, and so her and this other guy wash up on shore, and then he dies because he got slammed into the coral reef, and then it turns out there's a monster living just off the coast, and so I should turn this into glue. and so it is eating things, and so like there's a just the head of a shark at one point, and stuff like that. So then like she buries the dude that washed up on shore, and it eats part of him, and um, you know just stuff like that. And so eventually she has to fight it, of course. It was pretty. It's pretty funny. We'd watched the trailers, so there was no suspense. I think is what ruined it because they show the monster in the trailer, and so they've got a scene in there where she hears noises in the woods, and it's just wood noises because there's like a pretty thick forest on the island, like a jungle forest, and so she oh, I should check to see how much. Oh, and get my stuff repaired here. And so she thought the noises she heard were coming from inland, and she thought everything that was going on was coming from inland. And so she sits up with like this little defensive thing so that her back is to the water and she's looking inland. But it turns out that the monster's coming from the ocean. It was in the trailer though that it was coming from the ocean, and so I was like, oh well, that's kind of disappointing because now you know, and that ruins the suspense, man. I just looted this place not too long ago, so I don't think there's gonna be. I'm tired of waiting. I want to do something, and it's only midnight. Oh, we could probably work on getting into the bunker. This isn't the place for the bunker. There is a bunker around here somewhere, though. Uh, or what I got here? A fetch quest? I might manage a fetch quest in the dark at night with a gun. Oh, I want the drum mod too. Increase the number of bullets this thing can shoot before it runs out of ammo. Okay. And then the second one was called Mercy Black, and I rather liked Mercy Black. I thought that one was really good. Not really, really good, but it was better than I was expecting it to be. Because it was, ugh, couldn't give me something good. Well, I mean, I guess if nobody's gonna come out and attack me, it's gonna make this a little easier to complete. I thought there'd at least be some. Oh yeah, let's put on some shades. I don't want to wear a tank top though. And so in that one, it's I don't know if you ever heard the news story about the girls who uh, led the other girl into the woods and then stabbed her because they had to level up with Slender Man, which is not how I'm aware of that Slender Man works, but that's what they said. And so this is loosely based on that, and so they led this girl into the woods, and then they stabbed her, and then they cut off her finger. And because they've got they've got a little nursery rhyme for it um, in the movie, but they need to get parts from Mercy Black so she can come back, and you have to give an offering of yourself, and um, so they led the girl into the, well, you're led to believe they led the girl into the woods. Uh, but um, and so the movie starts, and it's the woman's an adult, one of the ones who did the stabbing, and she is getting out of the mental hospital where she's been ever since that incident, and she goes home, and so she's been diagnosed as early onset schizophrenic, and so she sees things, right? That's what she's told. And well, then she's got a nephew now who's 8, and so he's seeing things, and so uh, she finds out that the other girl who did the stabbing is. I know it's a waste of a bullet, but I didn't want to pick up the broke glass. Oh, and man, you know what I'm missing is a headlamp. Ooh. And so she things start happening, and you you don't know what's going on because it's really weird stuff is happening. And what is it? Oh, the rad remover. Look at that's the thing that I said I wanted. The rad remover mod. Now I can make it. And so the kid starts getting involved with the whole Mercy Black thing, and the other girl who was involved tried to hang herself at one point. So she like I don't think she even talks in the movie. Um, and because that's you think it's her for a moment. I guess I'm ruining the movie here, but yeah, you get to the end of it, and it turns out that someone else in town is the girl who was stabbed, and she was in on it the whole time. And um, and then the boy makes a promise to Mercy Black, and so he also wants to bring her back. Uh, and it was pretty good. I wasn't. It's the reason I didn't think it was going to be good was because it's only rated PG-13. I guess that doesn't mean it's not going to be a good movie. It just usually I'm expecting a horror movie to be rated R, right? Because it's going to be gory and whatnot. This one wasn't very necessarily gory. It was a little gory, but not a lot. But it was really good, and I wasn't expecting that. So of the two, I really liked Mercy Black. So then I guess we usually get some. Man, it cracks me up when those zombies get confused and just sit there and bang their heads against stuff. Uh, Dang it. And so I guess we talk about D&D real quick. Uh, so we played D&D this week. Last week we played, and I was uh, well, I mean, last week we played and it was okay. Nothing happens is the problem. I really want to get someplace and do something, but we're in this weird. Ooh, that diamond is useful. Oh, there's like diamond picks in the game, I guess. So, uh, but yeah, the so like I said, I just want to do something. I want to progress the storyline, and so like last week we had to do these little fetch quests, and I didn't like it. And so this week was the at the end of last week there was an explosion outside of our place, and so this week we had to go and see what the deal was with the explosion, right? And and so um, we get out there, and he's like, a minute's gone by. It happened right outside of our place, so I don't know how an entire minute's gone by, but I'm not even sure how this is supposed to play out because I didn't look this one up so much, and whoops, did not mean to do that. And so um, the so we go out to check the explosion, and I mean up to that point it was okay, and then we started into this stuff that I hate, and so like we rolled really good on our checks, and so we found out that a guy had. So we're like, do we see anybody? And he's just like, there's people laying on the ground, there's people gathering. Like, well, do we see anybody? Walking away or anything, because we came out as soon as the explosion happened, right? So I feel like we should have seen something if there was something to see. And then he tells us that I'm like, well, do I see like any marks where someone maybe got away because they said there was another person and they weren't there anymore. And so he's like, oh yeah, somebody says they saw him heading down the road, limping and covered in scorch marks because he was in the explosion. I'm like, oh well, I'm gonna go the way he went. And he's like, oh, well, you don't find anything but scorch marks. I'm like, it's been a minute. Like, if he's limping, shouldn't I be able to at least find a clue or something? But no, no, that's not what the book says happens. So that's not what's gonna happen to us, I'm sure. And so, uh, and it was dumb. Like, it was. I'm not impressed with some of these adventures, and the way this one is being run, I am definitely. Oh man, that's a pretty big zombie to be out here so early. I didn't think I was high enough level for spider zombies yet. And so, oops, I did not want to pick up the office chair. And I don't want a leather poncho. So, yeah, we ended up going to this temple because we found a piece of paper. Or no, we found a scrap of cloth with a symbol of one of the temples, and so we had to go there. We get there, we get they're making robots, and one of the robots attacked the people for whatever reason I don't know, and so they gave us a detector to detect the robots, and so then we I guess we're supposed to wander the city with the detector, but like I think the faction thing is dumb that we had to deal with, and so we went and This is one of the things that I think is dumb with the campaign that we're running, and that is there's organizations in the D&D campaign universe, and they're like big organizations. So there's like the Order of the Gauntlet or something like that, and so they hire, or they're an organization of basically heroes, right? They go around and protect travelers and stuff like that. And so, ooh, that's useful. And so both of those are super useful. And so then there's like the Harpers, and the Harpers collect information, and and so not all the organizations are good organizations, and so one of them is the Zentarum. And for whatever reason, in this campaign, the Zentarum are not an organization, and some of our DM GM's misunderstanding of how things work showed through in him saying that they're like the mob. They're like the Italian mafia. They're families, individual families. I'm like, but don't they have a council and stuff? Like maybe I'm wrong, but I thought there was like the Dons and stuff like that. And these guys don't even like they're operating in each other's territories, and apparently none of them know where the other ones are at, and it's just like we've met three different Zentarum groups, none of them who know what the other one's doing. Like, you're not a group then. Why are they called a Zentarum? They're like individual gangs. Every campaign we've played before this. Oop, hey, Farrell. Every campaign we've played before this, oh, look, water. Nice. Don't know why I didn't find that earlier. There's water. How do I get up the next level? Oh, there's a stairway right there. Uh, so there's supposed to be an organization who are interested in power. That's what we've seen so far with the Zentarum. This isn't our first go round, and all the other ones, the Zentarum is a group who are trying to come into their own power. In the book, I know in the book because I started running this campaign for other people. It talks about how the Zentarum are new players, not new necessarily, but there's enough of a power vacuum at the moment that they think this is the time to make their move. But they can't make their move if they're not an actual organization. And so we've dealt with three different Zentarum groups, none of whom are related to each other. And so one of the groups is. I don't understand how they don't know where each other are at. Like, you can't be a group if you can't contact each other. Uh, it'd be like if every basketball team called itself the same team name. Like, I don't know, what's a basketball team name? The Rockets. If every basketball team was called the Rockets, and when you talked about them, you're supposed to consider them a single group, but they never talked to each other, and they only met each other when they came across each other while playing games. That's not an organization with a single group name trying to cement itself as a group of power. That's a bunch of individual teams all using the same name. It doesn't count. It's like our local one of our local high schools, right? Their baseball team is the Tigers, but they're not the professional baseball team, the Tigers, and no one would confuse them as such, and no one would expect them to know each other. So why are the Zentarum all calling themselves Zentarum, but actually aren't a group? I don't understand it. Uh, and so it's really frustrating to try and track down somebody who's supposed to be such a major player in the power and political structure of this city when no one knows where he's at. No one ever knows where he's at. And I feel like we should have been able to play our way through and discover where he's at with some of the stuff we've done, or at least clues about it, because we don't even get clues. We just get told that nobody knows anything, which is the most frustrating. Like he doesn't even read ahead to get clues about what's going down, and and so we never learn anything ever until the book says this is happening at this moment, and so yeah, so we get the detector. We used the faction this week, which still was dumb. Like it should have been different for sure. Ooh, a level. Oh, I already have a level 3. I don't need a wooden bow. I almost called it a bowl. I don't need a wooden bowl either. But yeah, so they let us have clerics at the. This is how we got our information revealed. We weren't allowed to track the guy who was there. We have a level 3 faction because this is we keep getting told the higher you are faction wise with a group, the better the information or equipment you'll be able to get from them. So we go to the Zentarum to ask them where is the location of the Zentarum because we had seen 3 groups. Every Zentarum group has its own set of tattoos. Once again, they're not an actual group like the book says they're supposed to be. If they all are individual tiny groups, you can't seize power in a city as a bunch of tiny groups. It can't. That's not ever going to happen. Uh, they're not big enough to go up against the other gang that controls the underworld in the city if they're tiny individual groups. And so I asked if we recognized the tattoo, and I named off the 3 Zentarum groups that we had seen, and he said it looked like this one particular group. And I'm like, oh well, we just attacked them, got attacked by them a couple weeks ago, and so we've been looking for them anyways, but no one knows where they're at. And so then he mentioned that the one guy in our group, which I did not know, had level 3 with the Zentarum. And so I'm like, oh, well, we should go see if they know something. And so we go and we talk to the Zentarum, and our Zentarum contact knows nothing of this guy. Knows his name, knows that he's another group, but knows nothing about where he's at or what he's doing. How is that possible? How does the leader of one of the Zentarum groups not know what another Zentarum leader is currently at least based at? Have some way to contact something? I don't understand. And so, yeah, it gets frustrating trying to get through all that stuff for sure. But yeah, so we got information on the robot. Got a thing to detect the robot. We got clerics. That was our level 3 faction. Got us clerics to talk to the victims of the explosion. So we talked to them, and then and they basically just told us what we already knew, and that was that this guy was the guy behind it. I'm like, oh well, I already knew that. So that's just like a huge hour waste of D&D time to go through all that stuff to get the cleric to come back and tell us stuff we already knew. And our DM loves it. He loves it when that happens. He's always doing it. He gets a big, stupid smile on his face. Well, I guess we're not playing in person, but you can hear it in his voice, right? He gets a big, stupid smile on his face, and then he just starts repeating information he's already given us. And infuriates me. And so, uh, and it's like, oh yeah, so they don't really know anything else. Yeah, no kidding, because you're just repeating yourself at this point. And so, we, I really don't need to be carrying my claw hammer with me, I guess. So we do find out because then we question the guys who are with him and ask where they're based out of. So that's the one piece of new information we got. 30 minutes of talking to the dead got us one piece of information, and that was that the guy went the direction we already knew he went, but we got the name of the building he went to since we weren't allowed to try and track him on our own. And at least the robot is also there. So the robot detection device that we had. Oh, I should have eaten something. Yeah, well, I'll try and get something to eat when I get back. And so we head over there, and we still had like a 30 minutes of playtime, but he didn't have any of that prepped, and so we're playing online. Prep means open the map, and so he didn't want to open the map. So we were waiting till next week to actually invade the place, and which sucks because it took us 4 weeks to get up our next level, so we'd have our new abilities, and now we've got our new abilities, and then we didn't even get to use any of them. Which is super disappointing. But all right, with that, click like if you like, subscribe, and catch the next one, and I will talk to you later.